Hello, I'm Joya Kiola Foreman, a Green Spring Master Gardener, and I'm standing in front of the Green Spring Children's Garden. It's actually one of 3 that we devote to children. The other 2 are very close by, just a few feet away. One is the Wildlife Garden and the other is the Children's Discovery Garden. But today we're going to focus on this garden, and I welcome you to come with me and meet my friend the caterpillar. This garden is devoted to children so that they can learn, play, and discover. We know that the children learn best by playing. I'm sure as parents, many of you have read Eric Carle's wonderful book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. In front of the illustrations and the words is a caterpillar made out of succulents. Something interesting to note, caterpillars have 4,000 muscles, and as humans, we only have 629. We also don't know when we look at most caterpillars whether they're going to turn into a butterfly or a moth. And in our garden, which is always changing, you'll need to come back to see whether this caterpillar turns into a butterfly or a moth. This garden has a variety of flowers, different herbs. There are herbs that the children can touch and smell. There are flowers that will have pollinators on them. When you walk around the garden, you'll see that there are many beautiful things blooming, and most of them are native plants. Our pollinators like them better. However, if you come back in the fall, if you come back in the winter, there are also many things to discover and see. I'm standing in front of the black-eyed Susan, or the Rebeckia. It's really a favorite of pollinators. Right now it's in beautiful bloom. If you come back in the fall, when the flowers have all gone away and just the seed pods are left, you probably will see lots of yellow finches on it, because yellow finches use that at that time of year to feed their young, since they have the last babies of the summer. If you walk further into the garden, you'll find my weather station. It's an opportunity for children to talk about what the weather is today, what the different signs illustrate. They can manipulate the temperature gauge and talk about being hot or cold. It's a fun activity for them. And it opens up a great many educational opportunities for you as a parent. I have in my hand Down Comes the Rain, because next to the weather station is a free little library. In the good times, when we are virus-free, you can come back to Green Spring, and this little library will be filled with books for your children to browse and be able to take home. Most of them will be on nature, but right now our main goal is to keep everyone safe. So we have shut down the little library for now. But that doesn't mean you still don't have an opportunity to read outside with your children. You need to bring a book or 2 or 3 or even more to the garden and have your child read to you, or you read to your child. Reading outside is a totally different experience for kids. They hear birds, they hear tractors, they hear cars, they see people walking by. Their senses are engaged, and that helps them to learn to focus even more. And as they're growing, that's what you want. So grab a few books and find a bench. The Children's Garden has them. We have 35 other wonderful benches around Green Spring. Come and enjoy them. There's an opportunity for children to explore and move around in the garden also. They can crawl under, they can cross over the bridge, they can sit on the bench. There are a variety of things to do, and when they sit on the bench, they might focus on a large chalkboard. This is a challenging time for everyone. It's especially challenging for parents who have to make sure that their children are educated and being prepared for the future. This space is a wonderful space to be teaching science. It's a space where you can do reading. This chalkboard, and you need to bring your own chalk and a cloth to clean, can be a way to reinforce many things you're learning. Your children who are learning the alphabet could write it. Those who need to practice spelling words could also write the words as you give them to them. Or if you wanted to do a science lesson, you could show them a picture of one of the flowers, write the name on the board, and then have them go find it in the garden. For an older child who may be a little hesitant to learn those multiplication tables, have them write them on the chalkboard. When they're working on a chalkboard, the time goes by and they just kind of like to do it. So think of this garden as another learning laboratory to reinforce what you're doing at home. If you don't have a specific educational activity that you want to do in the garden, we also have some activity sheets that you'll follow the link and print out. One specifically has to do with the children's garden sign. Children can read it, they can count. There is science in finding out what the different insects are. Bring it with you, bring a pencil or a crayon, and it's something that you and your child can do together, or if your child is old enough, it's something that he or she can do alone. Often you'll find children who are with friends, and one becomes the teacher and the other sits on the slate, and they do some kind of lesson. And then other times you'll find children who will just write their name, draw a picture, scribble, do the alphabet. It's wide open. Right next to it is something all the kids greatly enjoy, and that are the chimes. They do enjoy this. Sometimes it can be very noisy, and occasionally there's a child who knows how to play the chimes, and that is an experience. As you walk through this path, you'll see that there are a variety of shrubs and plants and things that are blooming. The lilies are blooming right now. The cornflowers are blooming. It will be fun to see how large these elephant ears will get at the end of the summer. Expect them to be quite tall. We hope the Children's Garden is no longer a secret garden to you, and that you and your family will come visit and come often.